Okay, it's been several hours. I never even actually filled up the vacuum and had to empty it again. It was like less than half full, and I dumped it and it filled up again less than half full before I was done. I'm just kind of showing where there's a little bit of warpage here now. There was a funky squirt up it when I walked over the thing. It doesn't do it right now because the moisture's... It's moist, but it's not soaking wet. So the vacuum has been off for a couple of hours. Probably at least an hour and a half. Got all of the standing water off the floor, all of the damp blankets, sheets, and towels, shirts that I was using. Just finally stopped putting water out, so I was able to turn off the vacuum. See the damp seepage all the way up into there. I'll show you the bedroom in a second. Oh yeah, first there was water underneath. Basically, this has no tile underneath of it, so it actually, I think, has a little bit lower spot for the pocket. So there was some probably water into there, which would be why this kind of came around here. But basically, it's kind of wet underneath there. I've pulled this out so that it has a chance to dry. It's definitely going to be vinegar and borax spraying party the next day. So anyways, on to the bedroom in just a moment. Okay, so minimal moisture made it through the foam under the old carpet. Most of this, I think, actually came from the fact that it was streaming slightly and also filling in along the inner edge of the wall and then seeping into this. So this end will be wetter than that end. There's a little dampness on the floor on the corner where it came from the little channel around the edges. And you can see we're drying out nicely. The first thing that happened here when I took the blankets off of the bed, put them on the floor. These are the ones that normally would be for the cats to lay on top of the bed. But I closed them out of the bedroom last night anyway because somebody keeps pooping on the floor in here, even though there's fresh litter and all kinds of other stuff, like ample places. But they keep doing it. So I was like, okay, nobody's sleeping in here then, because it seems to be somebody hops off the bed, shits on the floor, and then runs out, and then I never figure out who it is. So, and that always ends up getting like I scrub over everything, soapy sponge and everything, even though it's concrete. And then with the cinnamon borax soap coming in off everything. Again, this was the floor is remarkably clean for as gritty as it is here. But anyways, so that's the old soap line from when I had ants coming in before I figured out how things worked. I kind of drew one around the heater because they were going for the heat. I had been contemplating whether I could do laminate floor out here, and I think this is an emphatic no. So anyways, there's still a bunch of humidity, but we're running 52% according to the dehumidifier here. Those are soap lines from, again, when the ants were coming in. First I had to cordon them off before I could start vacuuming them up. It is drying out pretty well in here. It's going okay in the other room. The rain is done. It's not supposed to rain for the next several days, so it'll be definitely dried out. A little bit of cleaning to do. But again, all this water that hit the floor was mixed of dish soap and detergent booster. So, I mean, honestly, everything got soaked into the blankets and sheets, and as the dehumidifier ran, it actually wicked off the floor through those. And when I was doing the vacuuming, I actually ended up using the T sweeper end minus the brush on the end of the hose, and I had that up against a sopping wet towel that was pulling in all the water that was coming out of the wall, and then as it sucked the water out of the towel, the capillary action caused more water from the floor to pull in. I watched the water move toward the towel as the vacuum was sucking on the towel. So that was how I ended up finding a good angle where it could pick up water off the floor, water out of the towel, anything coming through, and it didn't overheat the vacuum. So anyways, yeah, this is the update. These floors are getting dry. You can see there's like dry concrete in between places where there was a little bit more. And I, of course, moved the box here. Cats were using that as a step to get up and down. I don't know how permanent them not being in here is, but I got to get some floor mats or something. And I've got carpet for part of it, but they just, I don't know what the meaning of a cat shitting under your bed or right next to is. Sometimes they do it right in front of the door. So, yeah, that's what's going on. It is damp, but a lot of that, again, is also, some of it's moisture, some of it's, in that corner, it's farther away, it's probably moisture, but there's also definitely sediment and soap around there. So, yeah, it smells like stale Danish in here on account of that. But not funky. The cool thing with the copious amounts of borax that have been tossed around on account of ants and everything through all of this, with it washing around, there's very little mold actually to be had on the floor. I just need to watch the footboard levels of the walls and everything and make sure that maybe that all gets sprayed down. But yeah, at this point, that's what it's doing. It's drying out, and the rain is done, and this will actually be probably taken care of far sooner than I predicted in my earlier video. So that's what I got. End part 3.